Today is April 2nd, and if you've been feeling emotionally unraveled, like you've been dragged through the depths of something you can't quite name, there is a reason for that. Because right now, in this exact moment, something extraordinarily rare is happening. Venus is merging with Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces, and I genuinely believe this is the love and spiritual awakening portal that so many of us have been aching for. But here's what's really pulling at my attention. I don't think most people understand that everything tender and raw and confusing you've been feeling lately wasn't random. It was a signal. And if you've been feeling like your heart has been cracked wide open with no explanation, stay with me, because there is a very specific reason that's been happening. And I'm going to break it all down for you in this video. But first, I need you to understand something. The version of you that existed a week ago, that version couldn't have stood in the energy that's here right now. You needed to be softened first. You needed to be opened. And as disorienting as that process has been, I truly believe every bit of it was purposeful. You've already been feeling this shift building, even if you couldn't name what it was. Here's what most people get wrong about planetary transits like this. They think it happens in one clean moment. Like a switch flips, and suddenly everything is different. But that's not how this works. And I genuinely believe April 2nd is unlike anything we've experienced in a long time. Venus conjunct Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces isn't just a celestial event on a calendar. It's like a doorway that's been slowly unlocking. And right now, today, it is wide open. And the thing that gets me most, you've already been on the other side of it in your dreams. That strange emotional current running underneath your days. That ache for something you can't quite describe. That feeling like you're standing at the edge of something enormous. That's not anxiety. I think that's recognition. Here's what I've been noticing. And I've been living this myself. Some people are suddenly experiencing this overwhelming pull toward beauty, toward tenderness, toward art and music, and deep, wordless connection. Maybe you've been moved to tears by something that wouldn't normally touch you. Maybe you've been dreaming more vividly. Maybe you've been longing for love in a way that feels almost spiritual. Not just romantic, but transcendent. I have a feeling you've been experiencing something like that too, haven't you? Because Venus conjunct Neptune speaks in a completely different language than ordinary astrology. It doesn't speak through logic or strategy or practical action. It speaks through feeling, through imagination, through the part of you that exists before thought. And your soul has already been tuning into this frequency, even if your conscious mind hasn't caught up yet. The last few weeks have been intense, and there's a cosmic reason for that. Let me be real with you. If you entered April feeling emotionally raw, or if something in your heart has been quietly unraveling, you are not alone. I've heard from so many people describing this exact experience, this feeling of being pulled apart and put back together in a configuration they don't fully recognize yet. And at first, it feels destabilizing, right? Like, why is everything suddenly so sensitive? Why are emotions resurfacing that you thought you'd already processed? Why does everything feel so much right now? But here's what I believe is actually happening. Venus has been making her way through the final degrees of Pisces, the most spiritually charged zone of the entire zodiac. In astrology, the 27th degree is considered a degree of deep karmic completion. And Neptune, which has been dissolving boundaries and dissolving illusions in Pisces for years, is meeting Venus right there, at that exact degree, today. Think about what that actually means. Venus rules love, beauty, desire, and what we value most. Neptune rules dreams, dissolution, transcendence, and the invisible. When these two meet at the most spiritually charged degree of the most boundless sign in the zodiac, the walls between what you feel and what is real start to thin. The part of you that armors itself, the defenses, the emotional management, the protective distance, it starts to soften. And that softening? That's what you've been feeling. Every moment of vulnerability this week, every unexpected wave of emotion, every dream you woke up from and couldn't shake, that was the preparation. Because Venus can't bring you the love that this transit is capable of delivering if you're still fully armored. Neptune can't dissolve what you refuse to soften. The opening had to happen first, and now you're here, open, present, ready. Today, right now, Venus and Neptune are exact at 27 degrees Pisces, and this is one of the most mystically potent conjunctions in years. When Venus meets Neptune, it doesn't operate like other transits. It doesn't show up as action or ambition or even clarity. It shows up as feeling, as longing, as an almost aching sense of love that doesn't have a single object. It's just love, expanding outward, looking for somewhere to land. The shift in energy today is like moving from a crowded, fluorescent-lit room into a dark, candle-lit cathedral, where the silence itself feels alive. The sharp edges of everyday life begin to blur. Something sacred starts to rise. And if you're tuned in, if you let yourself actually feel what today is offering, you may experience one of the most profound emotional openings of your life. I think you're going to feel this in your chest first. That guardedness, that low-level emotional protection you carry around. It's going to start to dissolve, not dramatically, not all at once, but quietly, like fog lifting. And what you find underneath it might surprise you. Because Venus conjunct Neptune doesn't just open your heart, it opens your heart to what it's always wanted most: love that isn't transactional, connection that doesn't require performance, beauty that exists for no reason other than the fact that it's there. And here's what really gets my attention about today. This isn't only an emotional experience. I believe this conjunction has the power to reorganize what you magnetize into your physical life. Because when your frequency shifts at this depth, when the walls come down and the longing becomes clear, what you attract reorganizes itself to match. The love activation happening today isn't what most people think. When people hear Venus-Neptune conjunction, they might picture romantic idealism or fantasy. And yes, there is that. But I think what's available today goes so much deeper than romance. This is about the quality of love you believe you deserve at the most fundamental level of your being. Neptune at 27 degrees. Pisces is the planet of transcendence in the sign of transcendence at the degree of completion. When Venus meets it here, it's asking you a question that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Do you actually believe you are worthy of a love that feels like coming home? Not a love you have to earn, not a love you have to maintain through performance or perfection, a love that simply sees you in your full, unguarded, imperfect reality and stays. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt so seen by a piece of music that you had to stop what you were doing? Have you ever looked at something beautiful, a sky, a piece of art, a face, and felt for just a moment like you were part of something infinite? That's Neptune. That's what's flooding into your emotional field today through Venus. And the question this conjunction is asking is whether you'll let it in, or whether you'll explain it away, manage it, keep it at arm's length. Because here's what I've observed. People who are constantly braced, who manage their emotions at a distance, who keep their heart behind glass just in case, they prevent the exact love they're longing for from reaching them. Their nervous system is signaling, not safe, not safe, not safe. And the universe reflects that signal back as experiences that confirm it. But the people who can genuinely soften, who can let themselves feel the longing without immediately armoring against it, they become magnetic in a way that has nothing to do with effort. Connections appear, synchronicities multiply, love finds them through doorways they didn't even know were open. So the real activation happening right now, today, in this moment, is the shift from protecting your heart to trusting it, from managing love to receiving it. And after everything that's been moving through you lately, I think you're finally ready for that. And if we're talking about what this means spiritually, this is where Venus conjunct Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces reaches its full power. Because Pisces doesn't separate love from the divine. In Pisces, love is the divine. The longing you feel for connection, for beauty, for meaning. Neptune says that longing is not a problem to be solved. It's a compass pointing you towards something real. Today, that compass is magnetized. The signal is stronger than it's been in years. And the people who are most strongly in the signal field right now? Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, the water signs. If your sun or rising is in any of these three signs, this conjunction is landing in your chart with full force. You are not imagining the intensity of what you're feeling. You are at the center of this portal. For Pisces specifically, this is happening in your first house, in the house of self, body, identity. Venus and Neptune are meeting on your doorstep. This is a profound moment of self-recognition. The love that's available to you today is self-love in its highest, most Neptune form. Not the self-care checklist version, but the deep oceanic recognition that you are, at your core, worthy of everything you've ever longed for. For Cancer, this conjunction activates your 9th house, the house of meaning, faith, and the expansion of your inner world. Something you've been questioning about love, about what you believe is possible for you, about where your life is going, is being answered right now. Not through logic, through feeling. Pay attention to what moves you today, the thing that brings tears to your eyes unexpectedly. That's the message. For Scorpio, Venus conjunct Neptune is lighting up your 5th house, the house of love, creativity, and the expression of your soul. This is one of the most romantically and creatively charged transits you will experience this year. Something or someone is calling to you today. Don't overthink it. Scorpio's instinct right now is sharp and true. Follow the pull. And for every other sign, even if this conjunction isn't landing in your most personal houses, there is still something available to you today. The energy of Venus and Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces touches everyone. It's in the air. It's in the quality of the light. It's in the music that lands differently. It's in the unexpected moment of human connection that reminds you why being alive matters. There is one thing you need to do right now, and most people will miss it completely. Remember at the very beginning when I said there was something specific I needed to tell you? This is it. The mistake most people make on a day like today is trying to do something with the energy. They try to strategize it. They try to channel it productively. They turn the portal into a task. But Venus conjunct Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces does not respond to effort. It responds to surrender. This is not a transit you activate by doing more. This is a transit you activate by finally letting yourself feel what you've been managing, by putting down the armor, even for an hour, by allowing the longing you usually push past to actually surface and breathe. So right now, today, April 2nd, I want you to do something that might feel radical. I want you to create a moment of complete emotional permission. Let yourself feel whatever is true for you without immediately trying to fix it or explain it or make it more comfortable. Maybe you sit quietly with music that opens something in your chest. Maybe you write, not a plan, just feelings, unfiltered and honest. Maybe you go somewhere beautiful and simply let it affect you. Maybe you let yourself cry if the tears want to come without wondering why. Whatever it is, make it an act of opening. Make it something that takes you out of your head and into the full depth of your feeling self. Because that's how you activate this portal. That's the signal to the universe that you're not just available for love in theory. You're available now, in your body, in your heart, in this moment. And if you can hold an intention while you do this, a quiet, unforced asking for the love, the beauty, the connection that you actually want, even better. Don't perform it. Don't force the words. Just let yourself feel what it would actually feel like to be met, fully, completely, without having to earn it. Let your nervous system rest inside that feeling. That is the work. That is everything. Look, I want to be honest with you about something before we close. The reason you've been so emotionally tender lately, the reason your defenses have been softening in ways that feel both terrifying and necessary, the reason something in you keeps reaching toward a love or a life that feels almost too beautiful to believe in, that is not weakness. That is preparation. The version of you that kept love at a safe distance, that managed connection through performance, that decided early on that the price of being seen was probably too high, that version couldn't hold what this transit is delivering. They would have deflected it. They would have explained it away. They would have decided they were imagining things. But you're not imagining things. And you are not that version of yourself anymore. Venus conjunct Neptune at 27 degrees. Pisces isn't just opening a doorway to love and beauty. It's opening a doorway to a completely different relationship with love and beauty. One that doesn't require you to be perfect before you receive it. One that doesn't require performance or armor or proof of worthiness. One where you simply are, in your full, unguarded, gloriously imperfect reality. And that is more than enough. That's the shift. That's the activation. That's what everything has been building toward. And today, right now, in this exact moment, as Venus and Neptune hold their conjunction at 27 degrees Pisces, I believe you can feel it. Not as something arriving from outside you, but as something returning that was always yours. A remembering, a coming home. Because this love, this energy, it isn't foreign. It's not something you have to manufacture or attract through strategy. It's who you are when you put down the weight of everything you've been carrying. It's you at your most open, most real, most radiant. And honestly, after everything you've moved through to get here, you are so ready for this. If you've stayed with me all the way to this point, thank you. That genuinely means something to me. If what you heard today stirred something real in you and you want to keep going deeper into this kind of content, I would love for you to become part of this community. Hit subscribe, not just to see more videos, but because I think there's something here for you to keep returning to. And then drop a comment below. Tell me, what are you opening to right now? What is Venus conjunct Neptune at 27 degrees Pisces bringing up for you today? I read every single one, and those conversations matter to me. Take care of your heart, and I'll see you in the next one.